Alright, welcome to another episode of Soto Desperado Plays Ark Survival Ascended. We got a big ward lined up for today, and there's plenty of other ones to choose from. Some were a little too long, so I had to kind of skip them because they just take too long, but most are okay. I'm going to see if I can get me some more Raptor, preferably high level. I got so lucky last time I got a 240. I think I only had like two 240 Raptors. Oh, that's a 216. Shit, that's a 216. I don't have any fish on me. And they take forever to try to get. Sometimes there's fish under the water here. Let's see. There is fish here under the water. A little bit here and there. You gotta be careful with the stupid, those other fish, those jellyfish. I don't mind taming a 216. Gotta make sure I have plenty of fish. Otherwise it won't work. Oh shit, I forgot I will run out of stamina if I'm not careful. Have to be careful. To get your stamina back, you're gonna be screwed. Alright, so I think that's enough fish. There's sharks over there. Yeah, I need fish to tame the Pelagornis, and that's a 216. That's pretty high level. It's not like a 240, but you know, it's high enough level. So what I would want to do is kill anything in the area, like these guys, and then try to see if I can get it when it comes back down. just low levels. Alright, the beach is clear, so I just gotta go over here and see if I can catch it somewhere on the beach. No, it's not on the beach. Shit. It's right there. Fuck. It's in the water. 216. Well, I got fish, so if I can bulleye it and then knock it out right in the head, I should be able to tame it theoretically. Oh, that's a turd. I'll come back around to it. Let me start the video. Here's Big Ward. Big Ward the genius.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
I fucked up. Need to practice with
Today is Thursday, September 26th,
yeah,
2024. And I am back with another episode. Thank y'all for tuning in. I really appreciate it. And first, for verification purposes, so I won't get in trouble, I am not in the port. Okay? Not in the port. You know, I can't film in the port no more, y'all. So I'm not in the port. Now that I got that out of the way, I want to talk about something that I always tell y'all not to do, especially black people. Something I tell y'all not to do, but I did myself. I made a bad decision myself. I effed up. And therefore, I need to practice what I preach. Because I did something I done drilled in y'all head to not do. Because it will backfire on you and it will cause you more harm than good if you do it. And you may not think much of it, ain't no big deal. You should be able to do this. You may feel like it's something you should be able to do. It's something I felt like I should be able to do, even though I know better from past experiences. I'm human. I'm human. I mess up too, believe it or not. Not often, but I mess up too. I hurt my finger, y'all. So I mess up too, and I made a mistake. And I had to F around and find out that I have to practice what I preach at all times. Can't let my guard down ever, or I'm gonna get burned. You'll get burned. And what I'm talking about is, I done told y'all, and some of y'all knew, you probably have never heard me say this before because it was on some videos months ago. So that's why I need to reiterate this point again and drive it home again for my new subscribers and the people that have forgotten and people like me that are just human. And even though we know the right thing to do, sometimes we still do wrong. For everybody in between. Sometimes you know the right thing to do and you still do wrong. This is one of them circumstances where I know the right thing to do. I tell y'all about it. What not to do in this situation. And I still turn around and did it, and it bit me in the ass. As it always does. So therefore, I need to get up, dust myself off, and keep it moving. Recenter myself. So what I'm talking about is, when you have goals and dreams or what have you, don't tell nobody. Don't tell nobody. Especially if you black. Don't tell other black folk about your goals, your dreams, your hopes, your aspirations. Don't tell nobody about you dreaming about, planning on, finna make some move, put forth the effort to elevate your life, to reach new heights. Don't tell nobody you want to be a boss. I'm going to go even farther with this. But this just in the beginning. Don't even tell them you're thinking about it. Any type of move you plan on making, even though you ain't done nothing, you dead broke, ain't got a pot to piss in or one to throw it out of, but in your mind, you see yourself at the top. And you coming up with some ideas, some dreams, and some things you want to put into motion and make happen. Don't tell nobody. Nobody. Just do it. Just go and do it. And then when you just go and do it, and it start happening, what you had up here start coming to pass, start manifesting, God start blessing you with what you asked him for, you putting in the work, what have you, God doing the rest, and you starting to see, damn, I'm really doing this. It's really happening. So the first thing in human beings we want to do, because we happy now, we're excited, things are going in your favor when so many years of your life things went against you. When it seemed like nothing would go right for you. Trial after error after mistake, hard time, struggling, whatever. It seemed like that's all you experienced. And then now here finally, something going good for you. Other people, so-called friends, associates, whatever you want to call them, family, whoever, they saw you struggle. They were right there. Saw you struggling, trying to make it, didn't know if you were going to make it. They had your back supporting you, even helped you out, probably loaned you some money, didn't want it back. You was on your ass, and they were right there, side by side with you. Seemingly encouraging you. So you knew they were your friends, somebody who had your best interest at heart. Because when you were down, they was encouraging you, telling you was going to be all right. Don't give up. I got your back. And they did have your back when you was down. Right? So now, after witnessing you do all that, now some things are starting to go in your favor. Work out for you. Them plans you had planned, those dreams you dreamed are starting to come true, starting to come to pass. Hold on, y'all, one of my co-workers. Should we look out for each other? But anyway. So now your dreams are finally coming true. And it's only quite natural that you would think the people that were there when you was on your ass, you would assume, like, I know they down for me because they was down when I was on my ass. They was cool with me when they had nothing. They was cool with me when I didn't know what I was going to do. They was cool with me when I thought I was going to lose my mind. And you promise, you say, you know what, when I come up, when I get together, them the same people I'm going to hang out with. Them the same people I'm going to be down with because they were down for me when I ain't had nothing. That was on your mind. That's what you thinking. You want to keep it real with your people. At least that's how I am. You was down for me when I ain't had nothing. When I come up, I'm going to be down for you. At least that's how it's supposed to be. So I thought, right? So I knew I had some ride or dies with me. Even though my history, my past, my life experiences has taught me over the years, it ain't like that. Well, here it is with all this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that I have. I made that mistake again. At this point in my life, knowing better, I still did it.
Probably told something to a relative.
I got this YouTube thing going. Got my own truck, own business. Financially stable right now. I don't have the home that I want to live in right now. But hey, you can't worry about having every damn thing. But overall, I'm blessed. God is good to me. I ain't the type of person that flaunted in people's face. I ain't the type of person running around here telling everybody what I got. I ain't the type of person running around here. You might see me looking good. You're going to know I'm doing good. But I ain't going to be running around here bragging, I got this, I got that. Look at my this. Look at, yeah, I paid such and such. I don't do all that. You just going to see me and say, like you doing all right. I might be broke. You ain't going to know if I'm broke or paid. I'm going to look the same. Except when but that's another story. So I did what any normal human being would do when they got people that they think are down with them. And at this point in time in my life, I thought I had some more people after all these years of not having nobody that was halfway down with me since the 90s. Here it is in the 2000s, and more recently, the 2020s, where we at right now. Here I am thinking, I ain't gonna say friend, but I got some people that kind of showed me that they down for me. They cool with me. They all right. I don't trust nobody to a certain extent, but hey, these people have shown, because like I said, I was down, they were still cool with me. So I'm assuming if I come up, they'll still be cool with me as long as I don't switch up on them. So I made sure that I don't switch up. I know for a fact I ain't switched up. Right now, if they ask me for any damn thing, to do anything for them, I got it. It won't mention it to nobody saying, no, such hey, man, borrow this, I gave that, man. It don't matter who it is, I ain't saying nothing. Family, whatever, a family member can come ask me for something, I ain't gonna tell nobody. If I got it, I'm gonna give it to them, and I ain't gonna say nothing to nobody. You got nothing. Friend, whoever, that's the type of dude I am. So here I am. In the beginning, hey y'all, this is where I started making my mistakes because, and I ain't gonna beat myself up because they showed me, but it was an illusion, that they was cool, they were down with me because, like I said, when I was on my ass, they was down. So here I am, hey y'all, I'm gonna start a YouTube channel. Hey y'all, I'm gonna get my own truck. I'm gonna do this, that, and the other. My dream, my hope, man. I'm trying to come up, man. I'm telling you. Yeah, I'm telling you, I believe in you, man. Blah, blah, blah. Cool. All we cool. Next thing you know, the trucking thing started doing good. Started making a little money with that. Then the YouTube thing hit. All hell broke loose. I'm excited and happy. Look at my numbers, how they, people, you know. And I'm telling these people, I ain't running around telling everybody. I ain't telling nobody. I call myself the rockin' with who rock with me. Loving who love me, that's what I thought, right? So I'm telling these same people that seem like they had my back when I was on my ass, I'm telling these same people, hey, this shit doing good. I'm doing all right. I ain't telling everybody this. But I should have told nobody that I was doing good. Telling people I got a YouTube channel and it's growing like extremely fast. I should have told nobody. Just kept it to myself. Who wants to do that? You don't want to be, you at a point where you doing the best you've done in years. You've been suffering for a long time and finally things are looking up for you and you can't tell nobody. It's hard to stick to that because you want to celebrate with the people you thought was down for you. You want them to join. You ain't bragging. You want them to join in with you and y'all come up together because they was there for you when you was down. So I want y'all to, when I come up, y'all coming up too. But no, they look at it as, oh, now he think he. I had a friend of mine one time back in the day, cause I tried to help him buy some clothes for his kids on Christmas, cause I knew he was down. And he was my friend. I was his friend, he wasn't mine. But I didn't know at the time. That boy talked about me like a dog behind my back because I tried to help him get his Christmas stuff for his kid because he wasn't working. He was down in his luck. And Christmas was right around the corner. I said, hey man, I got some extra money. I'm going to help you get your Christmas stuff. He went back and told another friend of ours, Big Ward must be gay. What kind of man help another man buy his kid? That's the type of stuff I done dealt with, right? So I know better than to let these N-words, especially if you black, no, black people don't let nobody, family, nobody. You gotta put on that role like you're doing just as bad as everybody else. And it's burning you up on the inside cause you want other folks to be happy for you too. Just like you are happy for them. See, when they doing good, you happy for them. I'm happy for my people doing good. Cause I know how good it feels for them to have people celebrating with them. Somebody waiting for you at the finish line that was down with you at the beginning of the race. Now you can finish the race and they there. I told you can do it. You want that. I wanted that. And I was that for them. Oh, but when I started winning, the noses, the back talk behind my back, folk running back telling me what folks saying about me. And all I wanted was you to be happy for me, just like I'll be happy for you. I ain't bragging. I ain't broadcasting to the world, just to the people that I thought was in my circle, that I thought would be happy for me. Like I'll be happy for them when they achieve something. Or was I wrong? But the kicker is I knew better. I tell y'all don't do it. And I did it anyway. But I'm human. I made a mistake. So I'm telling y'all again, for you and for myself, because I'm steady growing, it's gonna get bigger. I'm gonna get bigger. But from now on, if you ain't on here watching me, to know that I'm big, nobody else will ever know. I ain't passing out no cards. I ain't doing nothing. Hey, I'm Big Ward the G from YouTube. Check out my channel. From nobody local, none of the people around me, I ain't telling them nothing. Nobody. Ever again. I ain't gonna say ever again because I'm human. I'll probably make them, we'll make a mistake here and there. But I effed up, y'all. I want to get something I preach about. Don't tell nobody how good you doing. I know it burns you up on the inside and you feel like you should at least be able to tell your people you think love you. No, I ain't Big One. I ain't gonna be out at the gas station telling folks I don't know it's strangers and stuff. But these my people right here. I can't tell them either. No, you can't tell your people. People that was down for you when you was on your ass. Or change up on you when you ain't on your ass no more. A lot of times they be down for you because they glad you on your ass. And it makes them feel better than you that they're able to help you and you ain't got it and they got it. But when you get it yourself, now you'll know the truth. Them same people that I thought were down for me when I was on my ass, they weren't down for me. They were glad to see me on my ass. They were glad the fact that they had the $20 and I didn't. That's why they gave it to me. For their own ego. Not because they cared about me and wanted to help me. Now that I don't need them no more, and I can help them, and a lot of times just surpass them. No, I ain't this, no, I ain't that. I think I'm this, I think I'm that. But I still love these folks. My heart for them ain't changed. I'm making sure that I don't act all like I'm just that. I'm checking myself to make sure, no big head, no none of that. I remember these folks. I'm giving these folks they props and they flowers. I appreciate y'all. When I was on my ass, y'all was there with me. So therefore, when I get up, y'all getting up too. The problem is they ain't want to see me up. Some people are only all right with you when they're above you. But if you get above them, they can't stand. Come to find out, that's probably 99.9% of the people. Even the people that around you right now that you think love you, that's down for you when you're on your ass, you not knowing they down for you because you're on your ass. If you ever get up, they ain't gonna like it. So therefore, as hard as it is, and it goes against everything we were taught that you're supposed to be happy for other people and they supposed to be happy for you, they ain't gonna be happy for you 9 times out of 10. So if you come up, if you're doing good for yourself, even if you ain't doing good for yourself, but you trying to do good for yourself, don't tell a soul. Not even the people closest to you. I know that sound damn, but you ain't gotta listen to me. I ain't listening. And it bit me in the ass. These folk around here hating the hell out of me. My little circle right here hate that. I'm telling all of them, I ain't did nothing. I don't even be with nobody. I can sense the hate when I come around the way they look at me. Like, you stinking, but I know I'm smelling good. I keep some good smell good on me. What I got on today? Joe Malone. Velvet Rose and Ooh. So I stay smelling good. So they look at me like I stink when I come around. I don't owe them nothing. And I share. Still friendly with them. And I ain't friendly with everybody, but with my little circle, which is only a handful, they start turning their backs to me. Won't answer the phone when I call them. I still call. Won't answer the phone. And I know I ain't did nothing to them. I only be wrong. I know I ain't did nothing. I ain't hit your old lady. I ain't talking behind your back. I ain't did nothing. I done been through this before. I already know what the issue is. So that's why I'm telling y'all. Keep your success, your dream. Whether you ain't successful yet, if you're trying to be. If you're on the grind, don't even tell them that. If you got a $2 raise on your job, don't tell nobody. You went from $8 to $10, which still ain't no money, they'll hate that. Spell if you black. Don't tell nobody nothing about what you doing, what you want to do, especially if you accomplishing it. You better keep that to yourself. Or you going to be in my shoes with a bunch of folks that you love hating you. For nothing. Just because you ain't dead. Get it? Got it? Good. Bye.
Yeah, blabbing your success to other people, it's like almost like cursing yourself, I think. Whether those people do anything or not, it really is. It's just, there's something about it that by talking about it, it's like you spoil the blessing or something. Yeah, that would be a better description. If you tell people that you're successful, you made like your first $1,000 in your business or whatever, then yeah, it's like you spoil the blessing. It's like if you give to a charity or you provide something for somebody and you blab it to everybody, then you don't really deserve the blessing for what you did. Because you did it to look good. You didn't do it because you were a good person. You know what I mean? But some of us, like I have a big mouth and I blab all the time. I made that mistake. But I acknowledge it, you know. I don't deny it. It's just, it's not something you want to talk about. The thing is, you have a compulsion to talk. Like he said, you want to share the good news. And you want to feel good about it. Want everybody else to feel good about it. And they would. But the truth is, you know, you don't want to spoil your blessing. Dude, die. Jeez. Took forever for that thing to die. Alright. Well, that's Big Ward. I really like Big Ward. Man, I had a father like that. Holy shit. I'd be so wealthy right now. Okay, Coffee Talk. The Purge of 2024. Political violence could break out in November. Oh, shit. This is for Sage Wanderer. Been listening to him for a long time. It's a brother. Here we go.
Sage Wanderer here, and welcome to Coffee Talk!
Luke Garfield.
Today, we're going to talk about the coming purge in America. Don't. Before we get started, though, I would like to thank all of you who support this channel financially. It's through donations by viewers like you that this channel is made possible. I receive no money from advertisers or YouTube. This is completely viewer funded. So if you enjoy these videos, if you learn something, if you've been inspired, if you've been taught anything in these videos, please consider becoming a supporter of this channel through the links in the description below. Now, what is a purge? Well, obviously, Purge was that series of movies where in one night, everyone goes crazy and commits every crime. Every crime is legal. It's the epitome of total societal breakdown. Now, I first brought this to your attention in 2017. In 2017, I was rubbing elbows with Antifa. Being a musician, I was very much plugged into the counterculture in the Pacific Northwest, and I witnessed the rise of Antifa, and I became a whistleblower to tell you what they were planning and what they were doing. When I first started talking about this organization, people believed it didn't exist. And since then, we've seen Antifa rise into a very well-known entity.
Come on.
And I guess the epitome of their efforts were what we saw in the summer of 2020 when riots led by Antifa and Black Lives Matter and working in connection with each other caused riots around the country where American cities were burned. People call this facetiously the Summer of Love. Now, I warned you all that this was coming clear back in 2017 when I became a whistleblower about this. And the purge that I'm referring to is more closely related to what's known as a communist purge. When communists take over a country in past decades, really over the course of the last 100 years or so.
And needed on land.
One of the main things they did was to arm the populace, typically the very young of the populace, to rise up against neighbor, and commit atrocities. And hit lists were circulated during these purges, where all of the political opponents of the ruling party or the person or people taking charge of the country, taking it over, that all of their political opponents were hunted down and murdered or imprisoned and tortured. And, you know, that's just a part of American history. And then we have the movie, The Purge, where everything is legal for one night a year. And there's a very specific horror of that movie where people dress up in costumes to commit these crimes. They wear Halloween masks. It's a night of absolute insanity, and people plan for it for years in advance. And so I became aware of Antifa's intention of committing a communist purge against the American people in 2017, and I talked about it in a video that's one of my more viral videos, many thousands and thousands of views, and that video was called Antifa Hit List and the Purge. This is where Antifa revealed to me that they intended to kill all of the Trump supporters. They intended to kill all of the Christians. They intended to burn churches. They intended to invade homes, taking what they wanted from the homes, killing all the occupants, and setting the houses on fire when they leave. And when they first told me about this, I envisioned them all dressed in black like ninjas, wearing their Antifa costumes with their faces covered. But, you know, I'm starting to see a more flamboyant kind of presentation. If you look at the recent attempt on Donald Trump's life, you could say that that man was more or less the leftist Antifa type. He was an activist. He was very much opposed to Donald Trump and the Republicans, and he listened to the rhetoric that's been spouted by the press for the last several years that Donald Trump is a threat to democracy. And he was radicalized by basically Antifa ideologies, that we needed to do something, that we needed to rise up and become violent assassins. And in one of the pictures, he's wearing the American flag, and he has red, white, and blue painted on his face. In other videos, he dressed up like he was a soldier, wearing a chest rig and body armor. Dress up is something the left is all about. And, they basically are LARPers. And, live action role play is a big thing. And so in a lot of these protests, and even on Pride Week, the leftists really love dressing up in these garish and ridiculous costumes. And so this brings me to a dream I had recently. Now, before I get to the dream, I've been talking about Civil War on this channel for more than 7 years. And many people have in their mind what a Civil War would look like. They remember the history lessons of the Civil War of the 1800s, how America was split. There was the Mason-Dixon line that divided the country, and the southern states rose up in rebellion to the federal government, and the federal government mobilized to put down the insurrection of the Southerners, which was really a secession movement. They weren't trying to take over the federal government, they were just trying to be left alone. And this resulted in a many-year-long war, the war that killed more Americans than any other war in American history, because both sides were Americans. And that's the mindset that you have when you're thinking about a civil war. And I think that kind of civil war would be possible if Kamala Harris becomes the president of the United States. And I believe that her intention to seize assault weapons under what they call a mandatory buyback. Mandatory buyback is just a spinned way of talking about gun confiscation. If it's mandatory, it's a confiscation. Whether they pay you for them or just take them, it's still taking something that you own away from you by force. And I think this could lead to many states rising up in rebellion against the federal government. I believe that this could lead to sheriff's departments becoming at odds with the federal law enforcement agencies from ATF and FBI. And I feel like that governors would rise up in rebellion, potentially activating the militia, forming armies. This would look very much like the Civil War of the 1800s. But on the other hand, if Donald Trump, by some miracle, overcomes all of this negative press, overcomes all of this demonization, overcomes all this fake news, overcomes all of the rigging in the election, all of the harvested ballots, all of the fake counters, and the misrecorded counting. They're saying now, the press, that they may not know the results of the election for 2 or 3 or 4 weeks after the election because it's such a tight race. Trust me, if they get one vote over in the first count, they're going to stop counting, declare it over, and go, but we're done. But if Donald Trump wins, even by a landslide, they're going to contest this election. And I believe that the rhetoric that they refuse to back down from, painting Donald Trump as an insurrectionist, painting Donald Trump as a threat to democracy, as a potential dictator, all of this is stirring up this left-wing radicalized element, like the shooter who tried to take out Trump in both cases, both the golf course and in Pennsylvania, that this kind of rhetoric could lead to the kind of riots we had back in 2020, the Summer of Love. And what you might see is this communist Antifa fantasy of the purge playing out in real life. And the way it was described to me is that it's all going to happen in one night. In fact, there was literature spread around on November 4th, leading up to November 4th, 2017, indicating that that day was the day the purge would begin. Of course, it turned out to be a nothing burger, right? I was ready for him. I even wrote a song called Ode to Antifa, where I challenged them. How come you didn't do anything? You said you were going to do something. And I think that was false information so that they could figure out whether we would rise up and take up arms against such an event, whether we would do anything or we would just let them overthrow the government of Donald Trump and take over. The thing they accuse us of on January 6th which was a riot that they call an insurrection, even though nobody was charged with insurrection. By the Webster Dictionary definition, an insurrection requires people to be armed. There were no guns confiscated at January 6th. And the only person killed that day was a woman named Ashley Babbitt, who was there to protest. She was unarmed, and she was murdered by a Capitol police officer that was later celebrated and basically given an accommodation. Was given a ribbon or a medal for his work in murdering that mother and veteran of the U.S. Armed Services. She was unarmed, by the way. And so the very thing that they wanted to accuse us of is something that's been in the Antifa communist playbook since 2017 and probably before then. And it's I think at this point, a fantasy that still pervades. In my video, Antifa Hit List and the Purge, I talk about how they have a list of people. They were making a list 7 years ago. This list still exists and is growing today. And there could be a day where they set out to attack anyone who voted for Donald Trump. Many of the people who are opposed to Donald Trump will say and have said publicly that they don't just have a problem with Trump, they got a problem with anybody who voted for Trump. Not only is Trump an evil person, anybody who voted for Trump is an evil person. This rhetoric is being spread even to this day. And this could lead to an organized purge, a night of murder and mayhem brought forth by leftists who are radicalized by the press, who are radicalized by their love of communism and the communist uprisings of the 20th century. And they might actually feel like they're patriotic, like the guy who took a shot at Trump at the golf course, who's seen wearing an American flag like a cape and his face painted in red, white, and blue. He saw himself as a freedom fighter and a patriot, and he saw himself as somebody trying to save America. And, of course, luckily, he failed miserably. Which leads me to a dream I had the other day. You know, I haven't thought about the Antifa purge in a long time. It wasn't really at the top of my mindset. I believe with my whole heart that if Trump wins the election, we will see massive uprisings, we'll see massive protests, and they will be very violent. There'll be mostly peaceful protests as buildings go up in flames behind you. That the burning of America will continue if Donald Trump is elected, because these people have been convinced that he's the devil incarnate. So, I had a dream the other day. In my dream, I was going somewhere to cover an event. I had a hotel room, but I was also meeting viewers at their home, and we were going to gather together in a group and go to this protest together, which I almost did back at the Virginia militia protest that happened in 2020, and in January of 2020. And so in the dream, I was in a strange city, but it was definitely a red neighborhood, if not a red city, if not a red state. I'm not sure where I was in this dream. I just knew that I was not in Oklahoma. And I was meeting with this group of viewers who were going to go to this event together. And it was in a suburban middle-class neighborhood. And as we came out to get into the car, the strangest thing happened. I saw a person who was essentially a woman dressed as a man, with a man's haircut, wearing a Men in Black kind of suit, a Secret Service kind of suit. Reminded me of the agent from the Matrix movies. Hello, Mr. Smith. You know who I'm talking about. But this person was obviously born a female. And with this all-black suit, they were wearing a black cape.
Oh, I said 216.
And sunglasses. Very, very strange. They were armed with a very small pocket pistol, like a .25, something along those lines, something that could fit in the palm of your hand, what we used to call a purse gun. And this person saw our group coming out from this house, and they ran catty-cornered from across the street straight at us, not saying anything, just head down in a full-on run straight towards us with this pistol in their hand. And they opened fire on our group in the dream, right? In the dream, I was carrying my Glock pistol. Now, I am a preacher and I am a pacifist when it comes to war, but I still believe in self-defense. I still believe in defending our countries, our communities, and our neighborhoods from violence and invasion. And so I was exercising my Second Amendment right that day. As the person opened fire on my group, they were spraying bullets, emptying the pistol as quick as they could pull the trigger while running straight up at us and screaming. And I dispatched this person rather quickly. One of the person in our group actually got winged and was slightly injured by the tiny bullet. And we were all in shock. We were like, what the heck was that? And we're still standing there, and I'm thinking, big problem now. I'm going to have to probably get arrested. I'm probably going to have to get booked. I'm probably going to have to get a lawyer. You know, I use deadly force. I've never had to do that in my life. And that's where my mindset was. When from around the same corner this person came from, there were three more dressed very similarly. One of them had a American flag wrapped around their backs, but still looking as best as they could like a Secret Service agent, like an FBI agent, even though I had no belief that that's who they were. And part of it was their weaponry. This group came around the corner. One of them had a samurai sword, of all things. One of them had a baseball bat, and one of them had a .22 rifle. And they started just like something your grandpa would have, right? An old knock-around .22. Once again, they opened fire on us and charged us. And I drew my pistol a second time now, still in shock from what had just happened. Remember, this is just a dream. This is just a dream. And so I shoot the armed attacker, and then the person with the samurai sword is running straight at our group. And I guess I'm the only one in the group that's packing. And so, once again, I take out the guy with the samurai sword when he gets within that 7-yard danger zone, that 21-foot rule. And now I'm thinking, oh, Lord. And, of course, when I do that, the one with the ball bat runs into our group to swing it, and the group jumps on them and subdues them, and they're having a full-on demonic manifestation. They're writhing in the ground, on the ground, screaming like an animal as several people hold them down. Now I'm thinking, okay, this is really bad. I just pulled a Kyle Rittenhouse here, right? This is not just a shooting. This is a mass shooting now. But I felt like everything was justified and in self-defense. But that's where my mind's at. I'm not thinking this could be a greater thing that's going on. I'm just thinking this could be something that's happening just to us, right? And so now that these 4 individuals, one is subdued and the other one is, the other 3 are deceased, once again, in the dream. Then, of course, somebody had already called the police, and a police car pulls up a short time later. The police officers never get out of the car. They just roll the window down, and when we come over there and start to explain what's happened, they act like they don't even care. And they just said, hey, are all of you okay? And yeah, then we're like, yeah, what are we going to do with this guy? And they said, we'll send somebody around to pick this other person up. You know, just tie him up. And I'm like, well, what? This is not how you handle this. You know, come do your job. And they were like, look, we don't know what's happening, but this kind of thing is happening all over town right now. We have so many calls coming in. This is some kind of organized, joint, psychotic attack. And they're attacking unarmed people and women and children all over the city. Several buildings have been set on fire. And other than that, we don't know what this is or what the cause of it is. And we want you guys to tie this guy up and leave him right where he's at. And somebody will be around sooner or later to get him. But the rest of you need to go in the house and lock the doors and don't come out, because we don't know what's going on. So the group retreats back into the house where we all met, and we prepare to ride this thing out. We put on the news, and once again, the national news hasn't even talked about it yet, and really there's nothing on the news at this point. We're searching the channels. We really can't find anybody talking about this. The person that lived there gets on the phone and calls several other people that they know in the town, and they've had similar experiences. There are crazed people in bizarre costumes running around, and they're not even telling us why. They're screaming and attacking people. And it was very terrifying. We didn't know if it was just happening in this town or in every town or nationwide or just in this state. We had no information. At this point, I decide that I did not bring enough ammo for this kind of junk. And in my hotel room, I know I have a rifle and some more ammunition for my pistol, and my body armor is there because I never travel without the basic kit. And so I really want to go back to the hotel room and get re-equipped. So I leave by myself with the rest of the group there. They do have guns in the house, so they feel somewhat safe. And I make the trip across town to my hotel room. And during this trip, I see several scenes of violence. In one situation, there is a guy with a butcher knife, and he's wrapped in the American flag. And he has his face made up. He almost looks like an American-themed clown, right? He has long hair, and he has a wild look in his face. And he has a very big knife, and he's chasing people through the street. And I can hear him yelling, "I'm a effing patriot. I'm trying to save our country." And meanwhile, he's just trying to kill people randomly. He's trying to chase them down. Some of the people got injured and managed to get away from him. I come to another situation where there's a deadly fight going on between several people. Some of these dressed up people and normal citizens, and they're locked in armed struggle with blunt weapons and knives. And there's a policeman standing right there, and he has his weapon out, but it's pointed down, and he's not doing anything. And I get from the image that this policeman is terrified, and he's not going to waste one bullet unless they come for him. And at this point, they weren't messing with the police. They were just after citizens. And I get back to the hotel room in the dream once again. And I suit up and I get ready to go back to help defend my friends back where they are. And I turn the television on. And this is when I see it being reported that not only is it happening all over town, it's happening in every town, in every red state. That this attack is primarily focused on people who live in red states or people who live in cities that are red cities within blue states. It's anywhere that Trump supporters, conservatives, Christians gather. And I see from the news that churches are being burned, that government buildings have been taken over, and that there's massive carnage. And there's a lot of gunfights breaking out all over the country. And then I wake up. It was such a disturbing dream that I had to wake up and sit in my chair for a little while. I couldn't just roll over and go back to sleep. Now, I will admit that I might have had beans that night, and that might have been a bean dream, right? I'm not saying it's prophetic in any way. I'm just saying that this is what it might look like if a communist uprising of these radicalized people, who many of them are on mental medications, many of them have emotional problems, many of them are violent by nature, and I don't think that they will be really super well equipped. I think that was probably on a spot on. I mean, if you just look at the ridiculous excuse for a rifle that the guy at the golf course was using, it was an SKS with a Monte Carlo stock. And he had his 30-round magazine downloaded to 10. I guess on the principles of it, because he didn't want to do this terrible crime with a high-capacity magazine. Maybe he wanted to prove he could get it done in 10 or less. I don't know. But they don't seem to be super well equipped. In the case of Kyle Rittenhouse, when he defended himself, he was very well equipped. He was being attacked with blunt weapons, and one guy had a little pistol, not unlike what I was seeing in this dream. So, you tell me what you think. If Donald Trump gets elected, will we see this kind of brazen, psychotic, murderous violence break out on our street like 2020 on steroids? Or do you think that people will just continue with the slander and the lawfare? Do you think that they're going to get triggered after the election or after the inauguration? You tell me in the comment section, are we headed for some kind of communist purge in this country? And also, if Donald Trump loses, and, will the Democrat Party, led by Kamala Harris, become increasingly aggressive against all of us who supported Donald Trump? Will they try to do lawfare against us more than they already are? Will they try to confiscate our guns? Will they ban us from participating in commerce as some kind of sanctions put against people who voted for Trump? Are they making a list? And when they get power, should we be frightened? Or should we be more concerned about what happens if Donald Trump wins? Either way, I don't see this next election ending in a peaceful transfer of power. I hope I'm wrong, but time will tell. Tell me what you think in the comment section below. Don't forget to support this channel financially. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up, share the video, and make sure and check your subscription, because YouTube unsubscribes people. And I'm not monetized around here, so I do need your financial support. Please help me out with a gift, and we'll see you next time on Coffee Talk.
Interesting. So you had a prophetic dream of them going out and trying to destabilize the Republican Party. Somebody's taking pot shots at the press, at the ex-pres, at Trump. It makes sense in a way that something like that could happen. But, the thing is, you would have to tie, like those two assassins that shot at Trump, they would have to have ties, and you and I wouldn't be privy as to all that information. Only the investigators for the FBI would know exactly what the hell's going on with that. They probably would have a psychological evaluation or something, some sort of character breakdown and a list of known associates, that sort of shit. We don't have any access to any of that shit. I have no way to tell, but we'll see what happens. I mean, the future isn't written. It just looks like it is. We're not in a place where we have to really worry about that sort of thing. We have to worry about keeping food on the table, making sure we're prepared for any kind of inevitable encounter, because there will be an inevitable encounter of some point at some time. But the thing is, we don't want to push for that. We don't want to manifest it. We don't want to speak it into existence. You can talk about those possibilities, but the more you talk about them, the more, in a way, power you give them. So it's not good to talk about that stuff. Damn, I wish these levels were higher. Oh, that's an alpha. Yeah, I'm thinking about it. I'm like, I guess it's possible. But nobody can say, I don't have the data to say this or that. Even if I was watching the news and everything and I had some insight into the political siding, the truth is, we don't know. We can't say for sure. It's not what you know, and even if you do know, it's not what you know, it's what you can prove. And I can't prove shit. You know? I just stay out of that shit. I don't like politics. But he's having a prophetic dream. I've had dreams before that were very influential. But ultimately, you know, dreams could be seen as a warning. You know. It just depends. When I had dreams, I didn't like take it too seriously. It was kind of influential, but it wasn't like, oh, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. You know, I don't worry about it. I don't worry about shit anymore. I'm old, I'm tired. I mean, I have 30 years or less left. The best years of my life are gone. And I could cry about it, but I'd rather just be thankful. That's an 88. I like the high level babies. They're the ones I want to clean. Low level That's just an 88. I'm going to go park inside over there. And I'm going to end the video, take a restroom break, and then I'm going to go ahead and come back and probably make another video. I haven't been up to doing anything today, and I ate a lot of pizza. I decided to go out and get pizza, which is not good for you if you're a diabetic, but, you know, I needed something. And went ahead and, you know, I'm just thankful, you know, that I have what I have. Like I said, it could be much, much worse. Okay, I'm still cool. Could be much, much worse. And I park a bird under here. Maybe that'll help a little. Do have some shelter protection. You see the little house on the right hand side that appeared right above the weight symbol on the right hand side in the middle? That means that you have shelter. So you have some protection from the elements. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see what other videos I could find. Once again, that was what's his name? Sage Wanderer. He thinks there can be like an agenda breakout. You know. Take care.